We are live in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to Newsline. It's Wednesday, October 28th. I'm Emma Benson.
And I'm Carl Namunyo. We start with breaking news at this noon hour.
After 35 years of ownership, the Miller family is selling the Utah Jazz.
Today is a day I have never been able to imagine. Today, my family and I are here to announce that we've decided to sell a majority interest in the Utah Jazz and its affiliated businesses to Ryan and Ashley Smith.
Smith is the co-creator of the 5 for the Fight jersey patch the team wears on its jerseys. Smith is a lifelong Jazz fan who sold his Utah-based technology company for $8 billion in 2019. Included in the pending transaction are the Utah Jazz, Vivint Arena, the NBA G League Salt Lake City Stars, and management of the AAA baseball affiliate Salt Lake Bees. The Miller family will retain a minority interest in the companies. The Smiths say they are committed to keeping the Jazz in Utah and helping the team get to the next level.
With less than a week until Election Day, President Trump and former Vice President Joe Biden are making their final campaign push.
Trump hit 3 states across the Midwest, including Michigan and Wisconsin. Biden stumped in Georgia, a state Dems haven't won since Clinton in '92. Arlette Saenz has more.
With the countdown to the election quickly winding down, former Vice President Joe Biden made 2 stops in Georgia, looking to flip the traditionally Republican state blue with a message of unity.
Something's happening here in Georgia and across America. People of different races, backgrounds, Democrats, Republicans, Independents, they're coming together to transcend the old divides and show what's possible.
On his 3-state tour of Michigan, Wisconsin, and Nebraska.
Now I've got to say, I'm working my ass off here.
Trump looked to appeal to suburban women voters.
So I'm saving suburbia. I'm getting your kids back to school. We're getting your husbands back to work, and everybody wants it.
And insisted the coronavirus crisis will soon be over, the same day the White House claimed it ended the pandemic, despite nearly 500,000 Americans testing positive for COVID-19 in just the last week.
Right now it's COVID, 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 no matter what happens. COVID, COVID. No, we're rounding the term. We're rounding that beautiful turn, and it's going to be very good.
Biden accusing the president of giving up on fighting the coronavirus.
We can and we will control this virus. As president, I will never wave the white flag of surrender.
While Trump targets swing states and looks to hang on to those he won in 2016, the Biden campaign is aiming beyond traditionally blue and battleground states.
The Biden campaign told voters in Georgia that next week's election is about more than just winning the White House.
It says the election is also about flipping the United States Senate and securing Democratic victories down the ballot. Election Day is 6 days away. Newsline reporter Juliet Favero tells us about the effectiveness of one low-tech campaign tactic that politicians hope will have voters saying, "I saw the sign."
Every election season, campaign signs pop up in front lawns of cities all over the country. It is a form of advertising that has existed for years. But in the age of modern technology and rampant social media trends and participation, are these signs anywhere near as effective as they used to be? A study about the effect of lawn signs on vote outcomes led by a Columbia University professor in 2016 found that lawn signs raise vote shares on average by slightly more than 1 percentage point. It also found that these signs match other low-tech campaign tactics that tend to have a small influence. But some campaign managers say yard signs can be effective.
I think they're effective because it ties a position to a voter and to someone that you know.
And Congressman hopeful Darren Perry agrees with their potential for influence, especially for the price.
I do think they're effective, and I just think they're another part of the equation. You know, when you don't have a lot of money to spend, yard signs are an easy purchase. But it's wonderful to drive around town and see the support.
Because of their low costs and their visibility, you probably won't be seeing these election signs going away anytime soon, even if they don't draw as much attention as posts on social media.
A man is dead after being shot by Harriman City Police. At approximately 10 o'clock last night, 2 officers responded to a reported violation of a protective order near 5300 West Solifax Lane. They were informed that the suspect was armed. When officers approached the man, he presented a threat, and the officers shot at him. No officers were injured, but both were wearing body cameras and have been placed on paid administrative leave. An 18-year-old boy is recovering after being shot by Ogden City Police. The shooting happened around 7 last night. Police responded to a report of an 18-year-old man threatening to take his own life. The caseworker first reported that the man was armed with a shotgun and later that he was fighting with 2 others inside the home.
The suspect came out of the back door of the house with a handgun in one hand and a butcher knife in the other.
After the officer instructed the man to stop charging toward him and he didn't, the officer fired several shots. 1 bullet hit the suspect in the abdomen. The suspect was transported to a local medical facility and is in good condition. The officer involved was not injured and has been placed on administrative leave. Officers were wearing body cameras that were turned on at the time of the shooting.
Maui police are asking for the public's help in identifying a man in connection with a bank robbery. The robbery happened on Monday at a Wells Fargo bank near 50 South and State Street. Take a look at these pictures captured on the bank's surveillance video. The man was wearing a black suit with a white turtleneck that was pulled up over his face. He's Caucasian, has thinning brown hair, and wears glasses. Maui police urge anyone who recognizes the man in the surveillance photos to call them at 801-840-400.
President Dallin H. Oaks from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints gave a powerful devotional acknowledging racism.
Only the gospel of Jesus Christ can unite and bring peace to people of all races and nationalities.
In the devotional, President Oaks reiterated what President and Prophet Russell M. Nelson said last year in one conference about racism not being consistent with the gospel of Jesus Christ.
The predecessors of many Americans of different backgrounds made great sacrifices to establish this nation, whatever those sacrifices of freedom, property, or even life. Let us now honor them for what they have done for us and forego quarreling over the past.
President Oaks says that if we continue to fight over the past and the present, we will lose the future. He also says it is our responsibility to unite and promote peace for a better future.
As of today, the total coronavirus case count in Utah is more than 107,000. More than 1.4 million tests have been reported and more than 1 million people have been tested. The total number of hospitalization is around 5,100, with 578 total COVID deaths. Utah Department of Health reported a 17.4% infection rate in the state. Margarita Satini, a National Tongan American Society member, dies from COVID-19. Margarita was known for her fierce activism, advocacy, and love for her community and mentoring future young leaders. She partnered with community organizing and promoting the 2020 census, voter registration, and COVID-19 awareness. 2 Granny District schools moved to virtual learning due to cases of COVID-19. Taylorsville and Olympus High joined 4 other Granny District high schools doing virtual learning due to COVID-19 cases. Since October 18th, 6 of the 8 Granny high schools have had to move to virtual learning. Taylorsville High School says all other schools' activities will be postponed or cancelled.
The Alpine School District has a new superintendent. Dr. Shane Farnsworth was promoted to superintendent yesterday. A group of 28 people made up of parents, teachers, city leaders, and others came together to make the decision. Dr. Farnsworth graduated from Brigham Young University and has been working in the Alpine School District for 22 years. He says, quote, "My appointment as superintendent of schools is a humbling honor and privilege."
According to LinkedIn, Provo has the 2nd most confident workforce in the nation. NewsLine reporter Joe Belknap tells us just what that means and why it is good for job seekers.
Provo ranks 2nd in workforce confidence according to a survey by LinkedIn. The city tops the chart largely because of a strong tech sector that's continued to grow this year despite the challenges of COVID-19. The survey ranks cities by confidence. In conducting the survey, LinkedIn used 3 factors to determine confidence: job security, financial stability, and long-term prospects.
So now we've got this critical mass of companies here in Silicon Slopes, which is great for students coming out of BYU, out of UVU, people looking for work in the tech industry. Now we have this whole myriad of jobs here in our valley.
Small, overlooked, and confident. Those were the words used by George Anders of LinkedIn to describe Provo's growing job market.
The tech industry in Utah, or as some like to call it, Silicon Slopes, includes companies like Qualtrics and Domo. The pandemic revealed that working from home is not just an option during a pandemic, but an advantage.
In the tech industry, more than practically any other field, I think that they found out that workers can work from home. They can work remotely. They don't have to be housed in the mothership and coming to work every day.
A Utah economic official thinks the high confidence ranking in Provo could appeal to companies looking to expand or relocate.
Well, you won't find a better business climate anywhere in the country than you will in Utah County and Utah in general.
Reporting for NewsLine from Silicon Slopes, I'm Joe Belknap.
The Wasatch Front is booming, sonic booming. Maddie Williams has the story on the surprise hello from Hill Air Force Base. Maddie?
It wasn't quite communication with a MiG-28 in an inverted dive, but residents in the Salt Lake area certainly heard the message. Hill Air Force Base has been making some extra noise lately. The base is home to the 388th and 419th Fighter Wings and the F-35s they fly. The base alerted the public last week about potential noise from night flights, but didn't mention any alerts about sonic booms. The University of Utah seismograph station picked up the disturbance and confirmed the shaking was not from an earthquake. 3 hours after their post, the 388th Fighter Wing tweeted that the noise was from one of theirs. Oddly enough, the public has been much more supportive of pilots with a need for speed at noon than at 2 a.m. For comparison's sake, let's take a look at reactions to the night flight announcement. Locals tweeted, 3 separate sorties taking off full blast at 1:30 to 2 a.m. is totally unnecessary, #sleep deprivation. And it's night at, 9 p.m. too, just as night at 2 a.m. But the story changed when the 388th posted, pilots are authorized to fly supersonic speeds and do so frequently. And here, no one's upset at the gutsiest move they never saw. Jason says they can perform those over my house in Harriman anytime they want. Skip Johnson called the jets the sound of freedom. By the way, Skip, thank you for your service. And Quinn asked the pilots to do it again within the next hour. I think it's safe to say Salt Lake City is cruising the highway to the danger zone and happy about it. Back to you guys.
The co-founder of a cult-like group is sentenced to prison. We'll tell you how long his sentence is and why he was convicted.
Early detection is what saved my life and allows me to be here today.
A breast cancer survivor's warning to women and their families. Find out what she says is the key to kicking cancer.
Impact people's lives and make a difference.
A Syracuse patrol commander shares how being a first responder has changed his life. We'll tell you how you can show your appreciation.
Hurricane Zeta will affect temperatures in Utah this week coming up.
All right, Monroe, you ready? Monroe! Ooh.
Of a cult-like group is sentenced to 120 years in prison. Keith Raniere, the Nexum leader, was sentenced yesterday. He was convicted last year on charges of sex trafficking, forced labor conspiracy, human trafficking, and racketeering. 15 victims either spoke or had statements read at the sentencing in Brooklyn. Raniere claims he is innocent.
Big tech CEOs are set to testify before a Senate panel today. The CEOs include Twitter, Facebook, Alphabet, and Google. The Senate Commerce Committee hearing will determine if the CEOs are protected by Section 230 of the Communication Decency Act, which says that websites are not responsible for what other people post. There are legislative proposals on the table to modernize the decades-old law.
The Los Angeles Dodgers take home the World Series trophy for the first time in 32 years. The Dodgers defeated the Tampa Bay Rays 3-1 in Game 6. The win came with a limited crowd due to the pandemic. This is a great accomplishment for Major League Baseball, considering doubts that a season would occur this year.
When the weather gets chilly, there's nothing better than a nice warm fire, unless it's a fire that smells like chicken. For the third year in a row, KFC is bringing back its chicken-scented fire log. The 11 herbs and spices log will let you sit by a crackling fire and enjoy the aroma of crispy fried chicken. The savory slice of wood can normally be purchased at Walmart, but their website shows that they're already out of stock.
October is not only the month for orange and black, it is also the month for pink. NewsLine reporter Valentina Yingling is in Eagle Mountain to tell us why.
October is not only the month for Halloween, it is also Breast Cancer Awareness Month. According to the American Cancer Society, about 1 out of 8 women will develop breast cancer during the course of their life. In 2020, an estimated 276,480 new cases of invasive breast cancer are expected to be diagnosed in women in the U.S., along with 48,530 cases of non-invasive breast cancer. After meeting with a breast cancer survivor, she warns that early detection is the best way to keep yourself safe.
My mother had breast cancer when I was 14, and she found out on her birthday, and they luckily caught it early enough that they were able to remove it before it got too serious.
48-year-old Casey Tuula is a breast cancer survivor.
Usually I try to take my kids to a breast cancer walk, but this time I haven't done anything this year. I think sometimes there's just certain years where you just don't want to think about how scary it really is.
Her daughter Naama Talua Campbell was there with her mother every step of the way and now advocates yearly testing.
I'm really glad that my mom went in and got tested, even though she wasn't showing any symptoms, because they caught it early enough to take care of it before it got bad. So I think it's super important to go in and get tested every single year, even if you don't have symptoms.
When they say you should go in and get your mammograms, they're free or most insurances pay for it, do it, because I didn't even know. Early detection is what saved my life and allows me to be here today.
For more information on breast cancer, as well as where to donate and where to get tested, visit the American Cancer Society at cancer.org. I'm Valentina Yingling reporting for NewsLine in Eagle Mountain.
Thanks, Valentina.
Today is National First Responders Day. NewsLine reporter Alexa Larson has some ideas on how to show your appreciation for our nation's first responders.
In 2017, Congress designated October 28th as National First Responders Day. This is a day to honor and remember the firefighters, police officers, and EMTs who are the first to respond in dangerous and stressful situations.
So I wanted to be a cop since I was like a little boy. And so, all I ever want to do is go help people and serve.
Lieutenant Austin Anderson, patrol commander of the Syracuse City Police Department, says that being a first responder has changed his life.
I think it kind of defines who I am. It's what I've always wanted to do. And to me, it's more than just first responding to people's needs. We have a chance to impact people's lives and make a difference. We're not perfect. Yeah. We're human beings. And as long as we're human beings, we're going to make mistakes. But there are so many good-hearted individuals in law enforcement and people that give tremendous amounts that people just don't ever see, and the good and some of the charitable acts and some of the things that people do are just remarkable, and I'm lucky to be associated with those kind of people.
Ian Baldwin, who recently received his own EMT license, says he became a first responder to give back to those who saved his life.
Growing up, I've always looked at the first responders instances in my own life where I've had almost died, that first responders have saved my life. Growing up, having an uncle in California, being a firefighter, going out to fight wildfires. So, and my brother, of course, being an EMT himself, I've just always looked at them, first responders, being just the guys, the coolest dudes on earth, because they just do stuff that, the ordinary people aren't going to do for other people.
National First Responders Day reminds us of the sacrifices that these people make on behalf of our communities every day. To show gratitude and appreciation, many donate to a first responders charity, such as the Fallen Firefighters Foundation, or write thank you cards to send to local heroes. Let's show our appreciation for our nation's first responders today and every day. Reporting for NewsLine in Provo, I'm Alexa Larson.
The Gulf Coast is bracing for yet another hurricane today. After what has already felt like a relentless storm season, Hurricane Zeta is coming just 3 weeks after Hurricane Delta and is expected to hit tonight as a Category 1 storm. We have footage from Louisiana of what residents are doing to prepare for the storm, like getting gas and sandbags. But what does that mean for us here in Utah? As you can see in our chroma, we can see that the hurricane is pushing all this rain and even snow up to us in Utah, so it's going to cause us to have some cooler temperatures. If you look at today's temperatures, you can see that we are cooling down, but still have some higher temperatures. And in Logan, we have a high of 52, a low of 28. In Vernal, we have a high of 44, a low of 18, which is our coolest temperature that we'll see today. And our hottest temperature that we're going to see is down in St. George with a high of 68 and a low of 44. But if we look at our 5-day forecast, we can see in southern Utah, we are going to stay in the 70s all week, and we're going to have sunny skies. On Saturday, we're going to have a little bit of warmer temperatures for our trick-or-treaters, so make sure you still have a jacket, but it's still going to be in the 70s. If we look at northern Utah, we can see that, again, we're still going to have sunny skies, but we're also going to have temperatures in the 60s and we're going to have lows in the 30s. So make sure that you wear your jacket this weekend and stay warm, Utahns. Now back to you guys.
This will be a unique Halloween for everyone.
I don't have any plans because usually I would have like a bunch of people over, but I don't really want to do that.
But what Halloween will look like for college students this year, next.
This couple took a wedding canceled by COVID-19 and made it spooky. Coming up.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This is no ordinary spooky season thanks to COVID-19. NewsLine reporter Edson Kerr shows us some of the different ways people in Provo will celebrate Halloween this week.
Halloween will look a little different in Provo this year. The kids will still trick-or-treat despite worries about the coronavirus. But what about college students that want mass gatherings and parties?
Because of COVID-19 restrictions, people should avoid some of the classic Halloween activities, like costume parties, overpopulated pumpkin patches, or anything that might draw large crowds. Restrictions have changed many college students' plans.
Probably, because like last year I went to like parties and stuff like that, but I'm not going to do any of that, so yeah.
I don't have any plans because usually I would have like a bunch of people over, but I don't really want to do that. So we'll probably just eat candy and watch movies.
They may be different, like I would probably go to a party, but we can't like guess that something like this is going to happen, you know, so I think it's fine.
Brigham Young University Communications sent out an email detailing 7 ways students can celebrate Halloween this week in a safe environment. Wear a costume to campus on Friday, spookify the Y, visit Hogwarts, stream a ghostly tale, show off your cookie decorating skills, meet some monsters, and cheer the Cougars to victory at the BYU versus Western Kentucky game on Saturday. But what else can you do?
You got to take advantage of spooky season, right? I love the haunted houses, corn mazes, all that stuff is way fun. You got to carve the pumpkins too.
I like to go to pumpkin patches and corn mazes and stuff like that. And actually, me and my friend have been watching all the Disney Channel original Halloween movies. We watched all of the Halloween Towns in one night.
No matter how you decide to spend your Halloween this year, stay safe and stay spooky. I'm Addison Kerr, reporting for Newsline, Provo.
Thanks, Addison.
A Halloween social media trend led one COVID couple to celebrate their love in a spooky way. Newsline reporter Lauren Hemmert takes us to a Halloween-themed undead wedding celebration.
Halloween is coming up this weekend, and while some couples and families decorate pumpkins in homes, models Bryce and Caitlin Cindric will be celebrating their wedding vows in a spooky way.
And so every time that we get together and do a shoot like this, it's just another way just to party, to have fun, and to have fun celebrating our love.
Like many couples this year, Bryce and Caitlin canceled their wedding celebration because of the pandemic.
Then we started hearing all these things about this weird virus that was going around, and I have an autoimmune disease, so I was instantly worried.
But Bryce and Caitlin didn't let COVID stop them from having a safe celebration this Halloween. Inspired by a social media trend, Caitlin planned her very own undead wedding photo shoot, where photographers gathered for an opportunity to practice shooting, learn from each other, and create unique Halloween photos.
A lot of effort goes into styled shoots, and Katie helped me a ton with it. You have to contact vendors for like the clothing, you have to contact vendors for the cake, flowers, makeup, all that stuff.
We've actually shot with one of the photographers before. Her name is Cassidy, and we told her the last time that we shot that we had never had a wedding cake. And she was like, oh my goodness, we need to have you cut a wedding cake.
She does all the planning. I just show up like this. I didn't do anything.
Wishing the bride and groom a happy Halloween and a spooky ever after.
I feel so artistic right now. I feel like I've just created beautiful art, and I'm so happy.
I'm Newsline reporter Lauren Hemmert.
Wow, that's definitely unique. I've never seen anything like that before.
A lot of creativity going on. This will be my 4th Halloween season since coming to the US, so that's
yeah, it's exciting. Thanks for joining us today for Newsline.
Have a great day.